Food waste doesn't make sense on many levels, and to have 40% of our food not being used while 15% of Americans are food insecure, that doesn't sit well with me, and hopefully won't sit well with most folks.
Quite simply, we have enough food in this country and on this planet to feed everyone. And it's just a matter of having the social and political will to get that food to people who need it.
There is a readiness on the part of the people to solve what is totally ridiculous, and that is that America is the most wasteful country in the world.
It adds up. 160 billion pounds comes at a cost of nearly $250 billion.
The amount of bycatch that gets wasted every year amounts to $1 billion and about 2 billion pounds. And that $1 billion represents about 20% of the total seafood revenue that's generated in the US.
We can grow food in ways that restore the soil, that put carbon back into the soil and take it out of the atmosphere, that doesn't overexploit water resources, that doesn't exterminate species, and does provide for the world's wonderful population of this incredible ape called Homo sapiens, food that keeps people healthy and well sustained without destroying the ecosystem on which we all depend. And that is a wonderful and realizable vision. Whether or not we will achieve it in time to avert the mass extinction event that we are currently participating on, I don't know. But I do know we have a chance, and we have to grab it.
So this event is termed Feeding the 5,000, and by our rudimentary math, we're thinking that basically from today's meal, about 7,500 people are fed. Probably about 6,000 here on campus and 1,500 in the community. All 7,500 of those folks were fed with safe, wholesome food that, if not for today's meal, would have rotted in a field, would have rotted on a dock, or would have rotted in a distributor's warehouse.
The impact of food production was the single biggest impact that humans have on the planet. When I got round to doing the calculations and working out that at least a third of the world's food supply was being wasted, that added up to a global scandal, and moreover one with readily implementable and, generally speaking, delicious solutions, namely eating and enjoying food rather than throwing it away. And that was where the idea of Feeding the 5,000 came. Have a massive celebratory feast, invite everyone to come and eat, whether they're politicians or homeless people, to taste the waste.
It's awesome, yeah.
This is really good.
Everything is really good.
The food has gotten lots of compliments, lots and lots.
I mean, obviously it tastes just as good as the other food.
This is actually my second time coming through the line.
Honestly, this actually tastes better.
I think that's so weird to be that wasteful.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It tastes the same and it's just as delicious.
Some people don't go for that tomato in the back, but I try to go for them just because I know other people won't.
There definitely could be programs in place where they were advertising, different ways to pick up these foods and that they're just as good as the other food.
I mean, it definitely changed my mind, so that's good.
Reusing food that would have been wasted and thrown away.
I hope this is something that continues to happen.
I can really imagine this process spreading across the country. And I can imagine more and more schools wanting to hold Feeding the 5,000 events.
It's transformative when there is a mass public support for this kind of thing. You really see rapid change from government, from food businesses, and people's own personal behavior.
I think we all have this sense that somehow we're not doing the right thing with our food. It really gets people to take a step back and think about what their role is in this situation.
I want it to feel uncomfortable to chuck food in the trash. There are cultures in the world that do regard that as wrong, and you see it observed throughout their supply chain, and that's an inspiration when it's embedded in the culture.
How many of you think that you'll keep those lessons in mind tomorrow when you're having lunch? Great. Now what about next week when you're having lunch, and the week after that, and the month after that? And that's the real battle here.
We have already had several universities contact us, hearing about what's happening here at UNC and saying, We want to cut food waste in our dining service. We want to reach out and show that this is part of a global problem that everyone has a part in solving. And I can pretty much guarantee that this will have been the first of many campus feeding the 5,000s.
The food waste revolution indeed has begun.